Alright, welcome back guys to this episode of Age of Empires 4 Coaching with Valdemar, the English versus the Ottomans. Today I'm playing the English, would you believe? Hope you are doing well if you're watching on YouTube. How are you doing, Valdemar?
Doing very well, thank you. And yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Looking forward to this one on Ancient Spires. I haven't played this one in a very long time.
And I would say you're actually at an advantage here because his military school opener will not be working against the English shortbow.
Yeah.
So what I would advise here is going for a quick feudal, maybe? As you don't want to be playing into the military school game. In the Dark Age, you'll gain that immediate tech advantage by going straight up. Alright, so we talked a bit about scouting before. So what we want to be doing is going straight for the middle.
Okay.
Or circle around a base. But go to the middle and then circle around a base is also an option.
I guess we've kind of gone into the middle, haven't we? I could still circle right down the south.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine what you're doing there. It's a general rule of thumb. Right, so we're rallying 2 to gold and then rest on food. We're doing a very, very standard build order here for English. I think your rally point is set to gold there. Right, so very standard build order for English. We are going to be going into some longbow production. We'll consider later whether or not we'll just be doing harass or going into a full feudal. I'm sure if we do go into a full feudal, it'll be in our base, actually, because we do have the defender's advantage. So trying to make him attack us and then attack him as a counter-attack. So usually what works.
Should we go with how many villages for the council hall?
There's 3, I think.
Sorry, I cut you off there. You're going to say something?
That's fine. Just fine. Questions are always very welcome.
Alright, so presumably once we get 3 on the council hall, then we're going to rally to wood once we age up. Do we pull off villagers off of food to wood as well, or?
Yeah. So if you remember, the amount of villagers you need for constant vill production is 4. And so you just pull the rest onto wood.
Okay.
And then we try to balance it so it's like 2 ratio 3. If that makes sense?
Yes. So 2, 2, 3, like 2 food, 2 wood, 2 gold from then on. Is that what you mean, or?
Not quite what I meant. It's more like the ratio wise. You want to be keeping like, let's say you have 7 on food and then you have like 9 or 10 on wood. And then you add like to each from there on out. Does that make sense?
Say it once more.
All right, I'll try once more. Right, so age up here with 3 villages, and then you keep 4 food, and the rest go on wood.
Yeah.
And then, like when you have 9, 10, or something like that, you want to be working towards getting the 11-13 split. That's the golden number.
Yeah. So when you get 9 on wood, rather, so we're just starting to get some more on food.
Yes, that's perhaps what I wanted to say.
That's all right. That's all right. I'll get used to the lingo eventually.
Oh yeah. There's also the language barrier, of course. If it's really a barrier, I think it's more like a thing where sometimes I want to explain something, but it's quite difficult to find the words because it's a saying in my original language or something like that, and I'm trying to translate it.
Oh right, I thought it was more of like an RTS thing, like a
Oh yeah. No, it was not. It was not. It was more like a ratio thing. So.
Okay. We should probably see what he's up to, actually. We didn't see him in school, so he's kind of...
No. Did you check stone? I don't think he has built anything. But if he has, it might be in that black area there. But I think you should just keep scouting now.
Scouting the rest of the map for him.
Yeah, we need to get more sheep.
And these villages on Council Hall, where do they go after? They go back to food, or...?
Yeah. So we get like, should be around 7 to 9. 7 food vills to 9 wood vills. And then we want to get +1 attack on our longbows. And double broadaxe from the lumber camp, because we're going to be going for lots of wood.
So, okay, once we age up, well, then we'll drop down a blacksmith pretty instantaneously, or...? Wait,
Not instantaneously. We are playing against the Ottomans, so you'll probably be doing some sipahi, which demands 8 barracks from us.
Yeah.
But we'll check when we will be dropping that down once we go for another scouting round.
and get double board axe, yeah.
Nice.
And I could probably afford the blacksmith now.
Yeah, you could put down the blacksmith if you want to. There's no problem in doing that. You probably want to add some more vills to food. So that's also a very natural thing that comes later on. The more you play, you start to get like a natural instinct for, oh, I'm having too much of this resource. I better switch around some villages.
Yeah.
Like instead of having to follow build orders all the time, just be more natural in a sense where you are just adding where it's needed when it comes to villager splits. All right, I think you got the gold now.
Move these guys to food. Seems we're kind of struggling on that front.
Very nice. I think we can go forward with those and actually start poking a bit. Doesn't need to kill anything, but just stressing him out and probably getting some good shots. See if we can add a barracks as well in the house. Because if he does not go for a stable, it's going to be even harder for him. So what we want to be scouting for is what?
Really where's resources? I carve that and see what production buildings he's got, and if he's gone for the stone for a second town centre or not. I guess those are the things might be worried about. Looks like he's going heavy on something.
Looks like a second town centre.
Yeah.
You can go and really do some damage there. Run around the tower. He's built 2 towers. Holy moly! Check where those 2 villages where they are building. Oh, I see the second town centre on the minimap. Time to deal some real damage here. That's a very, very good spot, and you know he has no military because he went for 2 towers. Oh, we're gonna be far ahead now. We're gonna be very far ahead. You could start sending some longbows up to that berry patch up top, just like 1 or 2. Great job. So by now we are far ahead of our enemy, which means we can just keep on taking this further and get a better hold on him. Might even want to bring a villager to tower that deer patch he has there with gold. Plus you get the bonus. Don't forget to build houses.
I think I've got one coming in. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think we need some more wood here. 2 million, I think.
You know, yeah, just pull 2 of them. That's exactly right.
What each will read
3 towers. Damn. I think this guy has some longbow anxiety. Probably worth it to refresh that lumber camp now. Remember to always circle around the enemy's base, both with a scout and your longbows, so you can respond to whatever he's pulling out for you. And he is getting into a very defensible position, but if we just keep on making no army, we can go for a battering ram or 2. And if no military units from our opponent, you just make longbows and then a few rams, then just snipe the villages. If he does make military units, we'll make the counter, and then we take down the second TC. Blacksmith coming up. What's that? Double military school?
I feel like I need siege engineering very soon.
I feel like you need some spears as well. Just add like 3 or 4, and then keep them for horsemen. And you can just like go on deer or mine gold with those villages that you have right there. There comes a stable. think strategy here, you can obviously disagree and then do something else, but I would say the strategy here is just to go for as much aggression as possible. Get a good army up, get that siege engineering, get a ram out, and then get as much value as you can right now, because he is exactly that defenseless. He has no army.
Double stable. Holy smokes.
I think this guy just wants to deal with your longbows as quick as possible. I see an archery range as well. But honestly, you should still be on the same amount of villages, even though he's had a second TC for a while. Two towers there.
Would you invest 9 on the mesh? I feel like I got gold for it.
Yeah, you might as well. You have the gold for it. You can also get forestry. And keep on adding longbows. Right, you want to watch out. Those horsemen deal extra damage to those battering rams. That's why we need lots of longbows here. Those longbows you have up top, I think we might be wanting to pull those back, because in a moment he'll send horsemen there. And not just going top side. Or you could also go bottom. I think both is risky. Then maybe don't go straight for the TC, go for the wood line up there with the tower in the top. Just to pull his units out and then start sniping them down. And then from now on, don't build any more houses up front. Right, very good. Get those spears up front. Snipe the archers so your spears don't get taken out. You got the tower down, that's good. Good value. Next we'll be going for the archer ranges. And if you just hawk the wood wall, you shouldn't be able to take any static defense fire.
Yeah, second round up.
No, that's fine. You're fine. You just need more longbows.
Oh, okay.
And then get horticulture and wheelbarrow. You have the gold for it. We might as well expand our economy. Maybe get another tower. Right where your battering ram is right now. So we start to tower the wood line, deny that resource. Right, be ready for the horsemen now. Right, well done, you're gonna take them all out. Well done, good value. Watch out, you're being shot at. Hold a bit off with the spears now, or you just want to make longbows? Send the spears back again. You don't need them, just for defense against horsemen. So one thing you gotta keep in mind is if you lose your spears, you lose your, what will you say, your ability to defend against horsemen, and you open up for counters. That's why we only go in with battering ram. You can add another battering ram now if you want to. We're adding another archer range. Why are you doing that again?
Just increase production, really. Got quite a big queue.
So you took down 2 archery ranges here. You forced more towers. I think you can just send your battering ram into his wood line there, and then snipe beyond the wood line. See if you can maybe wall off the top. There's the spot where you have a few longbows up top. You start walling him in. Make sure you get a tighter and tighter grip around him. So you're gonna lose that battering ram up by his landmark, send it back, and then heal it. Send the battering ram back. Just the injured one. The other one you can send to the tower. Try not to lose too many longbows here. Put the villager on the battering ram. Very good, very good. You have a lot of wood. You can start making farms with some of your wood villas. Alright. I think you could send the other ram as well. Let's take that second TC down and we'll definitely have gotten the value here. And then remember, he's spending resources to repair his TC, plus he's idling his vills. So actually, just having 2 rams there, you don't really need to lose any longbows.
Don't really want to snap back. Stay in front.
Very nice. Heal that ram up again. Send the other one on the tower, and you have a free entrance. There you go. That's a GG.
Holy smokes. I have to say, I was kind of a bit nervous about the fact that he had the military schools up, and yeah, but we did a lot of damage, I guess.
You did a lot of damage, and you forced out 1 billion towers from a tower guy.
Yeah, holy moly.
He preemptively built 2-3 towers before you even started attacking him.
Yeah, he must have preemptively gone with the approach of being very boomy.
That's for sure.
It'd be interesting to see the build graph, right?
Oh yeah, let's go have a look. Yeah, that's what you want to see. Keep in mind, you're on 1 TC all the time.
Yeah.
You're ahead of him.
That's pretty interesting, isn't it? Like
oh yeah, for sure.
Big dips and then a little bit of spikes there with the villager count, but I want to see what the militia's count was like. He just wasn't able to produce and sustain, because I guess there's kind of 2 aspects of it, isn't it? It's the fact that he's kind of losing villagers, which is he's put resources into that, but also the fact that his kind of villagers are being idled quite a bit. It just all really counts in.
It all counts in. Basically, most of his units, besides the archers, the horsemen, I think, were all produced mainly out of the military schools.
Yeah, certainly.
You did very well there, idling his TC. Not TC, his villagers, taking out the villagers, taking out the army. I would say work a bit on the, in general, the micro, pulling back the rams, get them healed up. It was a bit dangerous situation where it was almost dead there, and you can just heal them up a little bit, and then they're ready to go again. Yeah. Longbows, you lost too many. I think you could have twice as many longbows by now. By just going in there, shooting once, go back. Going in there, shooting once, go back. Yeah, because you do take a lot of damage from static defense, especially when you're playing against somebody like this who just builds so many towers. Your light units will take a lot of damage. So yeah, imagine if we didn't have +1 ranged armor.
That would have been bad. I think there was one point where I kind of went a little bit too close. I think it was this tower here where there was he's replacing it, and I realized that was quite expensive.
Definitely. And then we're floating a bit of wood here in the end, so just more farms. Yeah. We want to be making ready for. We want to prep our economy for further advancement of the push, or going into the next stage to get a tech advantage.
I have to say, within that game, I hadn't really thought about that. The next step, which is actually really quite important, as you just said, like spending that wood to either get, as you say, take advantage or expand the feudal age. There was a point where you mentioned So that's something I'm definitely gonna have to take away and think about. But there's another point where you mentioned about having that that second archery range. Is it because you maybe thought it was a bad idea, or you thought we could have spent that
I
wood on something else, or
I thought you shouldn't go for that second archery range because your council hall was not always producing. So if you just had made it so that it was always producing with better macro, though sometimes you had not a lot of wood, sometimes you didn't have a lot of food. That's generally the split that I meant before. There's no need to add an extra archery range because you've got 2 archery ranges in base,
yeah,
and you just want to keep a steady stream. You can add like a second barracks if you want to. If your enemy is going for lots of horsemen, but in this case it was not necessary. I would say just keep making farms, keep adding to wood, and then all of a sudden you're also going to be castle, but you can also just keep on making rams. It's
yeah.
basically your choice. Everything works as long as you are advancing and not halting yourself, which you are by making that archery range.
It's a little bit crazy actually how when you get like a critical mass of these longbows,
Mhm.
it's pretty. I mean, it's very very difficult to stop. I mean, he's going to need a massive horseman or Sipahi. He can't just trickle them in. If he trickles them in, if he loses one or two here, it just keeps snowballing, doesn't it?
Sure, and you will be doing a lot of overkill, especially if you're killing villages or something. Because villages without textiles, you only need like I think it's like 8 or 9 longbows. I think
Yeah.
it's 9 longbows to take out a villager. Might just be 8. But in general, longbows are very strong, and it's only because of their range.
Yeah.
The one thing you have to watch out when you use longbows is they're not the same as archers. They might have a better range, and so on, but they do have a pretty poor mobility. They move slower than archers, so if enemies massing archers, watch out. I'll say that for sure.
Yeah, it feels like when you're playing against the English or as the English, it can be quite snowbally. Like you could take one big fight and things can completely change and then build on from there. Like if you lose your massive longbows, that's a huge problem. Or if you get a massive longbows, it's quite hard to push off.
Definitely. Plus, you also have the towers to reinforce your position, and they add extra firing rate to your longbows.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. All
And
right,
then the
well,
spears.
yeah, yeah, go.
Last thing I would say is the spears. Really, you don't want to be fighting with them
Hmm.
unless he's charging you with his horsemen, because the spears cost 80 resources, and they take extra damage from the few archers that he has. So losing those spears are quite costly.
Yeah.
Whereas your longbows are the main DPS damage dealing unit that you are having here.
Okay, okay. So I figure based on that, really the idea is that you keep your longbows on front, and then if you see those Sipahi or horsemen charging in, your spearmen are just behind your longbows, and then
Yes,
they can just you can bring your longbows back or bring your spears forward.
exactly. Plus, like if there's nothing coming, just like start poking out somewhere else with your spearmen where there's
Mm.
not a lot of danger, like up top maybe.
Yeah, 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 certainly. All right, well, that was a fun game. I haven't played as the English for a very long time, so it was an interesting one. Definitely dusted off some cobwebs with playing the English there. And
Oh
if you
yeah,
guys are
yeah.
watching on YouTube, if you wanted to have more coaching like this yourself with Valdemar, do make sure you message him either on Discord or on his Twitch channel. I'll leave a link to that in the video description. And with that, Valdemar, any last remarks, or are we all good? I think we had a lot of discussion today, which was nice.
I think this discussion is necessary, and I think we covered most of it. Of course, you can keep talking about all the minute details, but overall, this was a good performance from you.
Yep, thank you so much. And everyone, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, do give it a thumbs up. We shall see you next time.